With grocery prices at record highs, you might think that grocery chains are making loads of money right now. While some of them have strong business models and are doing well in this environment, several others have never recovered from the losses they faced during the pandemic or even earlier. In the past couple of years, many grocers have filed for bankruptcy to restructure their debt, faced changes in leadership, or been sold out to larger corporations. But these measures were no guarantee of success and that their core problems have been solved, especially now that U.S. consumers are looking for the best deals they can find and competition is growing. At the moment, many big grocery chains are finding themselves at a crossroads, navigating through uncertain times and staring at the possibility of disappearing from the market. Although some of them still have hundreds of stores open, others are closer to annihilation, with so few locations left that you can count them on your fingers. Today, we're gonna take a deeper look at the problems these companies are facing and show you what's making some of them collapse all around us. Without further ado, let's check out this list. 1. Albertsons. Founded in 1938 in Boise, Idaho, Albertsons has expanded to 34 states and became a household name in the U.S. But over the last few years, millions of customers who used to shop at their local Albertsons store have noticed that the chain has been closing more locations and leaving their area. Since 2020, over 600 stores have gone offline. About 200 of them were closed during the pandemic, and another 400 were sold to C&S Corporation as a part of its merger with Kroger. The merger includes a promise not to close Albertsons' underperforming stores for at least 5 years to avoid creating food deserts. That is, areas where residents face difficulties to find affordable and good quality fresh foods. For the grocer, operating unprofitable stores may aggravate several existing problems, which can quickly spiral out of control. For instance, Albertsons' debt-to-equity ratio is 10.88, meaning that the amount of debt it owes is 10.88 times the amount of money it actually has. You don't have to be an expert to see that the math clearly does not add up. The company has merged with Kroger in an attempt to expand its market share and strengthen its business, but the truth is that it may have dug its own grave. 2. Balducci's. Balducci's is also being impacted by the Albertsons-Kroger merger. Owned and operated by Albertsons' parent company, the special gourmet supermarket chain has been struggling for several years now. Since 2009, it has significantly reduced its brick-and-mortar footprint, and today the chain only operates in a few states, including Connecticut, Maryland, New York, and Virginia. Having only 9 locations around the country, the company is at risk of going extinct, especially considering that it sells a pound of strawberries for $10 at a time American consumers are extremely price-conscious. 3. King's Food Markets. Another grocery chain that may not survive the Albertsons-Kroger merger is King's Food Markets. After filing for bankruptcy in 2020, the grocer was bought by the same parent company as Albertsons and Balducci's, but it hasn't been performing well since then. More than 70 locations have been shuttered, and today there are just 19 locations still in operation. Like Balducci's, the grocery chain's products seem way too overpriced for the business to sustain itself in the middle of a slowdown in consumer spending. 4. Safeway. Yet another supermarket that came as a package deal in the Kroger and Albertsons merger is Safeway, which has been around since 1915. 100 years after it opened its first store, the struggling grocer was sold to Albertsons for over $9 billion. That resulted in the closure of 146 locations, and now many more could disappear as Albertsons' parent company eliminates smaller chains to focus on keeping Albertsons stores open and avoid facing a lawsuit for breaking the agreement made in court. Moreover, Safeway has been accused by regulators of grossly overcharging customers. For instance, inspectors in Marin, California, found avocados selling for $12 at Safeway supermarkets instead of $4 to $5 each. On Reddit, one customer vented, "Every time I go to Safeway, I have at least 3 items that ring up wrong. I'm starting to think it's not an accident. Imagine how much they're making off of these mistakes on every transaction." With a reputation for price gouging, customers may just go elsewhere. 5. Winn-Dixie. Recently acquired by Aldi, many Winn-Dixie stores are closing for good. In 2018, its parent company, Southeastern Grocers, declared bankruptcy and closed a large number of locations. Only in the first half of 2024, the buyout was completed, and the new leadership is making dramatic changes of the business. Aldi is analyzing each Winn-Dixie store to see if it'll be better turning them into Aldis rather than keeping them as Winn-Dixies. Dozens of locations have already been converted this year, leaving loyal Winn-Dixie customers sad to see their favorite grocery store going away. The number of Winn-Dixies that survive in the long run remains to be seen. 6. Harvey's Supermarket. A household staple in Georgia and Florida, Harvey's supermarkets have been around for as long as people can remember. Also owned by Southeastern Grocers and sold to Aldi, the grocery chain is facing a similar fate as Winn-Dixie. Aldi is evaluating where it is profitable to keep some Harvey supermarkets, converting the others into Aldi stores. Almost a century old, the company is only operating 21 locations in 18 cities. If the trend continues, there may be very few, if any, left by early 2025. 7. Amazon Go. Incorporating tech into the grocery market seemed like a great idea for Amazon, but the e-commerce giant rapidly found out how tough this business is. In 2018, when it opened the first cashier-free Amazon Go stores, the idea was that customers would scan the Amazon Go app or other payment method to be allowed inside. The payment would automatically occur when customers walked out the door with their groceries, snacks, or prepared meals, whatever. But the model was not as successful as the online retailer envisioned. One customer described Amazon Go stores as a bodega crossed with a morgue, or perhaps a vending machine extrapolated into concrete, because of the lack of human interaction. In the past 3 years, Amazon has turned several Go stores into Fresh stores and closed dozens of others due to their low popularity in major urban areas. Today, there are only 19 stores across the U.S., and if performance continues to disappoint, they might be gone before people even notice. 8. Save-A-Lot. At the beginning of 2023, Moran Foods, Save-A-Lot's parent company, started to sell off its stores to various companies around the U.S., citing problems like rising debts and increased competition. It sold its final 18 stores in August to Lever Supermarkets, which had previously bought up 29 of the stores. However, some locations have already closed doors permanently. Falling sales over the past quarters are indicating that the grocer is struggling to survive under different ownership. 9. Earth Fare. Earth Fare was brought back to life only to die again under new leadership. In June 2020, the Whole Foods competitor started liquidating its inventory, laid off employees, and filed for bankruptcy. The company cited difficulty in competing in a world where people had changed the way they shopped and preferred e-commerce during the filing. Back then, the chain had 50 stores. 1 month after, a new investor, Holsing Enterprises, lifted the company out of the grave and started to hire back some of the people it had previously laid off and reopen some of its store locations that it had not sold off to other grocery chains like its competitor Whole Foods. The new COO, David Isinghood, had previously been an executive at Whole Foods and had a lot of ideas to revive the business. Sadly, the success was short-lived, and it has already closed down many of the stores it reopened. As of November the 1st, there were only 18 stores open in 7 states. The pace at which the closures are happening is sparking fears that the chain will soon go completely dark again. 10. Family Dollar. Bought by Dollar Tree in 2014, Family Dollar has been in a dire financial situation for over a decade now. Prior to the acquisition, the chain already had declining sales. The new parent company was hoping it could turn things around, but the outlook does not seem promising. During the pandemic, Family Dollar stores started selling a few types of fresh produce, meat, dairy, and frozen food, in addition to shelf-stable groceries. This was supposed to be a good addition to the grocer's assortment, but it might actually have accelerated the chain's demise. In 2022, a rodent contamination debacle at one of its distribution facilities put its reputation on the line. Family Dollar's income decreased by 21% in the following year. That forced the grocery chain to make some dramatic changes. About 390 locations were closed, and others will rebrand with a completely different name, with people still associating the name of Family Dollar with rodent feces. The store may need to change its name in order to recover customers. A few months ago, the company also announced that 1,000 are expected to occur by mid-2025. So, if you do your grocery shopping at Family Dollar, you may need to find a new place to shop soon. 11. Big Lots. After announcing 300 closings in the first quarter, Big Lots just said another 56 are going to be shuttered by the end of the year. Since 2019, the grocer's debt has started to rise uncontrollably, currently standing at $2.44 billion. At the same time, sales went down by 13.2% in the last year alone, which led its stock to plunge by 72% and resulted in more losses for the supermarket chain. Now, teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, Big Lots is at risk of falling apart completely in a matter of months. 12. Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop is getting rid of underperforming stores that aren't making enough money for the company. Several locations closed in 2022, with many more following in different states in 2023 and another 32 happening this year. The grocery chain said that rising competition is pushing some of its stores out of business in large urban areas. Just like many other companies on this list, Stop and Shop is falling behind competitors with more appealing offerings and lowest price points. 13. 99 cents only. Just a few months ago, discount grocer 99 cents only went belly up and announced that it will close all 371 of its stores in Arizona, California, Texas, and Nevada. In a press release, the company cited the unprecedented impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, shifting consumer demand, rising levels of shrink, persistent inflationary pressures, and other macroeconomic headwinds as factors that negatively impacted its operations. Executives of 99 cents only said they had engaged in an extensive analysis of all available and credible alternatives to keep the business running. Unfortunately, they came to the conclusion that an orderly wind-down was necessary to protect 99 cents only stores' remaining assets. Now the chain is liquidating all its merchandise and disposing of certain store fixtures, furnishings, and equipment. 14. Eat Well Market. Midwestern grocery chain Eat Well Market was recently discontinued by its parent company, which also turned Eat Well locations into Schnucks stores. Our teams at each Eat Well Market put their best foot forward to nourish the lives of their customers, making this a decision that was not made lightly. Todd Schnuck, Schnucks chairman and CEO, said in a press release. After significant analysis and evaluation of what we could do to make each store more successful during current economic conditions, we concluded the most prudent path forward would be the discontinuation of the Eat Well Market banner. The grocer was the latest company focused on organic, local, and specialty items to bite the dust in 2024. And 15. Dom's Kitchen Market and Foxtrot Market. After merging in 2023, Dom's Kitchen and Market and Foxtrot Market, two Chicago-based upscale grocery store brands, announced on their websites that they're now shutting their doors for good. The chains wrote on their websites, "We explored many avenues to continue the business, but found no viable option, despite good faith and exhaustive efforts." The grocery industry is a highly competitive environment, and not all companies can handle the pressure. Many of them have been hurting for quite some time, and current economic conditions are only aggravating their financial problems. In 2025, the U.S. market is going to look much emptier as more big grocery chains collapse all around us. What are your experiences of the grocery market in your neighborhood? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching.